Hi, I'm Garie Waltzer. I'm a photographer, and I have been looking at cultural landscapes in urban spaces in lots of different places, photographing for a project that I call Living City, in which I record the context of place from an elevated vantage point and look at both the gestalt and the very specific details of how a place is inhabited over time. After working on Living City, I'm making very large-scale black and white prints for really the last 15 years. I went to Vietnam and I discovered an absolutely vibrant, dynamic, visual place that I was compelled to keep returning to over and over again because of its incredible energy. After photographing from a distant vantage point, usually elevated and looking at both a broad and a deep space in other cities, when I got to Vietnam, I decided to come down from my perch and work at street level, because the kinds of activity and life and commerce and energy on the street was extremely compelling. And with this work, I was also really interested in specificity of detail and capturing a more intimate view of how a place is lived in over time. There is much about a history of a place that's really embedded in the landscape. Details of signage, styles of architecture, infrastructure, the way people inhabit a place, the kind of occupation and activity that's taking place in a particular location, says a lot about the multiplicity of urban space, that you can be in the present and also have this view of the past in a singular capture of an image. One of the things about the way I work is that walking is a large part of the process, finding the place to stand and the moment to capture an image that is revealing of something particular about that place. So I walk and I look, and I am always a little bit on the outside. It's the way I make my way through the world as a stranger in a new place, discovering, trying to understand, appreciating the beauty and the wonder of the cultural landscape, the way a place is lived in over time. And so it's sort of like dancing with a stranger. You capture that moment in time, you stop the flow of social activity, and afterwards, when you look at the image, you can experience a much more contemplative way of interacting with that scene, where you see so much more detail than you might have been aware of at the moment of capture. I photographed in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, and also in Can Tho in the south. And each place is a little bit different, and the nature of the stuff of a place, whether it's an alley that I'm walking through that has somewhat ambiguous relationship between outdoor and indoor space, which is very typical of the Vietnamese urban construct. There's a very, very thin line between inside and outside, and much life that you would think might be more private in other cultures is very public and happening on the street. People are enclosed in a cubicle-like space. Very narrow houses called tube houses. They came into being because people were taxed based on the width of their home. And so all these homes are very narrow but very tall. And there's generally some kind of commercial activity happening on the street, but also very personal activity happening just on the other side of an open door. So Living City has been an ongoing project that has allowed me to follow my camera, which is really the way I move through the world as an observer rather than an active participant. I'm always behind my camera looking at a way to understand the world around me. And I'm very interested in capturing an enormous quantity of detail in my images and to kind of level the hierarchy of information in those images, which allows the viewer to spend a long time looking at the information in an image as if they are wending their way through the space of an image, much the way I would walk through a space. So it's all about a quick capture and a very slow contemplative view of the details of a place that are telling about the culture of that time in that place and how layered and vibrant most cities are.